Okay, well, welcome. Thank you for joining us today. I am Jen Mitchell, owner and founder of Jen Mitchell Travel. This is our virtual travel educational series, and today we are going to focus on Patagonia and the Galapagos. Jen Mitchell Travel has been in the Naples area for about 7 years and was most recently voted Best Travel Agency in Collier by Gulf Shore Life magazine. We are also a virtuoso agency due to our affiliation with McCabe World Travel. Our virtuoso affiliation gets our clients lots of added amenities, VIPs, access that you can't get anywhere else. We also have preferred partnerships with many of the luxury hotel brands, such as Ritz-Carlton, Rosewood, Roccaforte, Four Seasons, just to name a few. And during our series, we're going to focus each time on a different destination or cruise line or product. And today with us, we have Dolores. She is the president of Quasar Expeditions, and we'll be talking a little bit about what they offer and the destination itself. So some great adventure travel and opportunities to travel more remote destinations, which is a very popular request right now. So what we'll do is we'll allow to share the screen so that we can do a presentation for you, and then we'll open it up to questions. If you have any questions during the call, you can go ahead and write them in the chat box and I will ask them for you as well, or you can just unmute yourself and we'll have some discussion at the end. Okay.
Are you ladies looking at the first slide?
No.
Hold it a second. Green. You allowed me to share. Let's see.
There it is. It's coming on.
Do you see it there?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Okay, good afternoon, ladies. Thank you for allowing me the opportunity of presenting our product. Actually, we are a company that has been in the business for 34 years. It is a company that was started by my husband and myself. And I have to say that we are extremely lucky, that it continues to be a family company. The three little boys that you see there are now part of the company. And I think the combination of experience that was brought into the company by Eduardo and myself, and the energy, the technology that was brought into the company by these three boys really has created what the Quasar is at the moment. We are a company now that for 34 years have perfected the experience that we offer to our guests. We own and operate 2 small luxury yachts in the Galapagos Islands. I will let you know a little bit about a new project that was being worked on and right now has stopped because of the COVID situation. And we operate unique Patagonia overland safaris in the Chilean and Argentinian Patagonia. We also offer boutique DMC services throughout Ecuador, Peru, Chile, Argentina, and we started Colombia not long ago. We haven't done much yet in Colombia because of the COVID situation, but the other countries we have been operating in a very successful way. Our very own operation in Ecuador and in Chile. And why in Chile? Because my second son actually has been living in Chile for the past 7 years. He married a Chilean girl, and that is why we also created the Patagonia overland safaris that I will tell you about a little bit later. To get to the Galapagos, you need first to arrive to Ecuador. Ecuador is a lovely country that has one of the best advantages of Ecuador is that it's so small that in just 8 days, you could visit it all with the Galapagos apart, okay? If you have an extension for two nights, it will be enough to see a little bit of the country. The most interesting part of the country, it's actually in the highlands, where you have the volcanoes and most of the indigenous communities, and the jungle of Ecuador, which is the part on the right. The coastal part of Ecuador is interesting for those who might be interested in certain indigenous communities, but certainly, and above all, it is the highlands and the jungle of Ecuador that are the most popular for for guests. Quito, it's a must when you go to the Galapagos. The main reason, because to go to the Galapagos, you're going to need a couple of nights prior to arrive to the country, mainly during winter time, because on occasion and because of the 34 years experience, we have realized that sometimes bad weather might make our guests miss their flights or luggage is left behind. So it's actually Quito. It's a very attractive city. It's the capital of Ecuador, and it offers, to my liking, the best colonial city of the whole of Latin America. Our services are always private and exclusive. For example, when you see those musicians on the photograph of the right, those musicians, we hired them because we had a family from New York who told us they enjoyed music. And we hired those musicians to offer to the family a private concert within one of the most beautiful, iconic churches of the colonial part of Quito, La Compañía. So that is the sort of service that we enjoy offering to our guests. If you like chocolate, we will invite you to a chocolate tasting evening within one of the convents of the colonial churches of Quito. So all of these, are special tours that we provide for our guests. So if your clients only have a couple of days to stay in continental Ecuador before going to the Galapagos, Quito, it's a must, to visit. This is one of the hotels that we use. This is Casa Gangotena. We only target the 5 and the 4-star accommodations. Okay? Ecuador is widely known for the beautiful flowers that we have. So we always visit, a rose farm when we go to the northern part of the country. Haciendas, which as a translation, there are farms. This is one of the most beautiful haciendas because an indigenous community lives close by, so our guests are able to visit them. And that is how we like to do it. It's great with children. And if children enjoy doing some horseback riding or, staying busy with any of the activities, we're glad to do so. But, the interaction with the indigenous communities is what we enjoy the most. If you have children and want them, to really have an education, when they go and visit a country, then we do that. That's what we target. We want those kids to return home having learned a lot about the country, and especially after having interacted personally with all of the indigenous community. This is Cuenca. These are Inca ruins in Cuenca. Cuenca, it's a lovely colonial town. Just for your information, if you would have passengers who had already been in Peru, Ingapirca, which is the Inca ruins that we have there, we will not take them there because I have to admit, as an Ecuadorian, I have to admit that Peru, in that respect, it's superior. It offers a superior visit because they have all of these, Inca culture inside the country. So it's quite lovely. But, Ecuador offers these beautiful towns like the colonial town of Cuenca, which is just a beautiful town with accommodations in small boutique hotels like this one. The Panama hats that are made in Ecuador, we take our guests to where they make them so that actually our clients are able to really interact with these people and enjoy the art crafts that they make. Guayaquil, that could also be another place where your passengers could visit. If they don't, if they do not come to Quito, they can actually arrive to Guayaquil, which is a coastal town, the largest coastal town of Ecuador, stay there for a night, and then go to the Galapagos Islands. It's also a lovely stay. It will offer you, coastal weather, warm weather. And one of the most beautiful tours that we can offer in Ecuador is the visit to our jungle lodges. It's actually, the wildlife is extremely attractive. You can do the visit staying there only 3 nights, which makes it very attractive for those passengers who do not have just too much time besides going to the Galapagos. So it's a great option to go to these jungle lodges. The only, what I would say, the only if with these lodges is that they're not air conditioned. The tours are fabulous, the guides are great, the food is spectacular, but they're not air conditioning, even though they're extremely comfortable. But that is something that you have to tell your clients about, so that because there is a lot of humidity in the jungle of Ecuador. If they would prefer something more comfortable, in between quotes, this lodge is Mashpee Lodge, is all air conditioned. It's a beautiful property. For example, when I visited, I never closed the curtains of my room because it overlooks the jungle. It's a beautiful property. This lodge is air conditioned. It offers an experience not as genuine as the other lodges, but on the other hand, if you have the sort of client who prefers this sort of a stay, this is the place to send them. Lots of entertainment when you go to any of these lodges, even if you want to do some whitewater rafting, spas out in the highlands, and the wonderful food of Ecuador is what we offer when you choose to come and visit Ecuador for a few days. We are part of Lucy in the Andes, and I'm so proud to tell you about this, because this venture works with the women of Ecuador. And, it's one of the most successful programs. It creates a lot of, how would I say, well-being into the lives of many, many women of Ecuador. So if you want some more information on this foundation, I would love to share it with you, because we're very proud to be part of it. Some people coming to the Galapagos enjoy enormously doing the combination Galapagos Machu Picchu. So if you need anything in Peru, we'll love to help you out with that. As I told you, we have our own operation in Ecuador and in Chile. We subcontract in Peru, but the philosophy of service of our operator in Peru is the very same as ours, to show the very best for our clients to truly interact with everything that they will be seeing. And there you go with the beauty. I mean, Peru is actually absolutely a beautiful country to visit. We have been locating in the past months, services that, can actually allow passengers to travel totally independently and privately. I'm sure that you have the contacts, for companies who actually charter planes for families who might want to visit it that way. We have been locating villas and properties around Peru, in Chile, in Ecuador, even down south in Patagonia, in case your clients may want to travel privately and stay on these places on their own. Okay. Now I go to the Galapagos Islands, which are fabulous islands located about 600 miles from the coast of Ecuador. These, as much as the Galapagos seem to be not too large, navigation in the Galapagos is actually quite long on certain evenings. When you go on a boat, you will travel during the night. Every morning you will wake up on a different island. You will have a visit in the morning, then you will have lunch. We travel, a little bit after lunch. We navigate for about one and a half hours to arrive to the afternoon visit. Then we do a visit in the afternoon, and then back to the boat at around 6 in the evening. That is more or less how a Galapagos day go. We only offer 7-night itineraries. And the reason for that is because we believe in showing Galapagos well. I know and I understand that some people may not have enough time in their vacation to just be in the Galapagos for 7 nights, but we encourage you to sort of convince your clients to do so, because that's the only way by which they will realize why Charles Darwin thought of the theory of evolution when in the Galapagos. We have been honored 2 years in a row. And ladies, this is a first that I'm telling you. We were also announced only a couple of weeks ago that we, that we have won also for 2020, even though we only operated 3 months. But I think they compared with all other operations for the same period of time. So we also won the Travel and Leisure Award for 2020, and it will be made public in the magazine, in the Travel and Leisure magazine in 2020. And when we meet with the boys and we say, what is it that we're doing well to be honored with this recognition? And we decided that the reason why our guests enjoy so much what we offer is that we compare what we do with an African safari. Never, ever our guests will see anything behind a glass. They will always be interacting directly, be that with the nature of the Galapagos Islands, the nature of Patagonia, or anything that you can see in Quito, in Lima, in Santiago, in Buenos Aires. They will be interacting with everything that they're seeing. That is why our boats, are built in a way that have 360-degree decks, so that you can always walk around and be able to enjoy the scenery of what goes on. And it would be so unfair not to actually name also one of the biggest reasons why we are recognized by Travel and Leisure. And I think it is our people. Our people, are so proud to what they do. They do a wonderful job. They're incredibly personalized with each one of the guests. And I think that's what makes them so popular with our guests, and that's the results. So our philosophy and values, are only what I experienced when I first visited the Galapagos, which was in 1969. This is what we wanted to make the company. We wanted to show the Galapagos and every destination we are present in the very same way that I saw the Galapagos in 1969. And that is why we put a lot of care in working with the community of the Galapagos, and in the sustainability of the islands, and in a travel that will give you so much pleasure, and it will be, that you will really like, to come back in the future. We will take every single minute of your day to have you enjoy situations like this. We will never not stop if we have whales crossing by our path, when we're navigating from one island to the other, or if we have, a pot of dolphins, we will immediately stop the yachts, bring the dinghies down to take you closer to what nature is offering at the moment. That is what you came to the Galapagos for. That is what you paid us for. That is why we put so much emphasis in the knowledge of our naturalists. They are not only fabulous naturalists, but they are great hosts. So they will be there for you to explain at any time whatever you need. The number of the ratio of passengers per naturalist on our smaller yacht, that it's for 16 passengers, 8 passengers per one naturalist. And on the Evolution, which is for 32 passengers, it is 10 passengers per each naturalist, okay? It's a number of guests that allows the guide to interact with them constantly and at all times. We give a lot of, we put a lot of effort into the cuisine, into the beauty, into the hospitality of the areas of the yachts. But I tell you, we realize that as much as this is very, very important for guests nowadays, for us, what it's important is to show you this. This is what you came to the Galapagos for. So if lunch is ready, and some of our guests are just enjoying this, we will allow them to stay as long as they want. If they want to remain, that is why the ratio of passengers per naturalist. It allows the guides to stay behind if some of the guests might want to do a longer snorkeling or a longer kayaking session, or maybe stay in the island slightly longer. For us, lunch will never be more important than this. This is what you came to the islands for. Not one of our passengers will return home without having tried themselves all of the activities. We love to take you out of your comfort zone. if you feel that you're a little bit afraid of going into the water, one or two of the crew members plus the doctor and the and the guide will go with you until you feel comfortable in the water. Coming to the Galapagos and not enjoying this, it would be such a shame. Many of our guests say, wow, you open up my life by showing me that I was able to do this. And that's what we're there for, to show you this. These are the memories that will stay with you forever. The food on the yacht, they're lovely, wonderful meals, but that you can get anywhere in the world. This is what you will not be able to get anywhere but in the Galapagos. So how are we going to rush you if you're just taking photographs of something like this? It is great for children, even though we have during summertime family departures. I have realized, at least in 2019, we had kids every now and then, coming with us, not necessarily during the summer or during holidays. But if that is the case, and you have a client with us on that departure, we will ask you first if your passengers do not mind having children on that departure before we actually take them on board. Okay? We realize that some people just want to go without any children on board, but it's a beautiful experience for children. I recommend it enormously because it changes the life of the younger generations. And these are the decks that you can actually walk about and see everything that goes around you. Okay? This is one of our boats. This is the 16-passenger boat. Her name is Grace. Actually, the reason why she's called Grace is because she has a fabulous history. She was actually a boat originally even involved with Winston Churchill during World War II, part of the Dunkirk evacuation of soldiers. And after the war, she was bought by Aristotle Onassis, who gave her as a gift to the Principality of Monaco when Princess Grace and Prince Rainier married. That is when, we bought her, and actually we turned her into a beautiful boat. If you know, the Grace attracts those who like boats, who like yachts, and it's actually an extremely comfortable boat. It has the stabilizers, it has the guests, it has everything that your passengers might be interested in concerning comfort and service. If you think that the Grace is an old boat, totally the opposite. We refurbished her from scratch with the original blueprints of Camper and Nicholson in 2018. So she's actually a totally new boat. She's a beautiful boat, and she's great for charter as well as for individuals. Her cabins are huge. As I said, whoever likes yacht, they will lose their heads with this yacht. She's truly a lovely vessel with lots and lots of outside space.
We just had a question. I just want to chime in real quick about the cabin size. Did the slide just say 160 square feet?
Yes, correct.
Okay. You still there?
We will actually surprise passengers offering in this area. We offer them a lovely dinner, candlelight dinner, not real candles, but candlelight dinner out there is actually on a starry night. Believe me, there is nothing like it. So she's a lovely vessel, the Grace. Okay, this is the Evolution. She's for 32 guests, 16 cabins. By the way, Grace has 9 cabins. And one of the cabins, we use it normally for single supplement. We don't charge single supplement. Or on occasion, it happens that she's chartered by wealthy families and they bring a nanny. So there is an extra cabin for them to use. Okay? And the Evolution, she's for 32 guests. She is a lovely vessel. Also, even though on the outside, she looks very expedition-like vessel, but again, on the inside, she's incredibly comfortable. Probably, I would say that Evolution has the largest cabins than any other boat in the Galapagos. Her cabins are huge. She's similar to Grace, lots and lots of outside space, so that our guests are always out there. That's the idea, that they're out, so whenever something happens out there, they see it firsthand. Inside and outside dining, jacuzzi, and she has a lovely boarding deck that makes her very comfortable for those who might have some physical limitations or maybe guests that are on the older side. She's quite comfortable. This deck is actually quite comfortable for that. Just for you to know, we have photography cruises. It's sorry that this slide is a bit old. It says there 2019, but in 2020 we had them, and in 2021 photography cruises with those two leaders at no extra charge. So if you're interested in 2021, if you have anybody who's interested in joining one of these departures, we'll love to have them on board. We can also organize some experiences for your guests that are totally private, which is a visit to the inside of the Charles Darwin Foundation when they visit the Puerto Ayora, and they get to see the laboratories and the scientists of the foundation, and they can see the foundation actually inside out. So that is something that we can organize for your guests. And this is, for us, this has been one of the greatest worries in the past years, which is this photograph actually shows the mangrove finch, which is the most endangered bird that right now, that it's an endemic bird of the Galapagos. It came to a point where they had only 20 of these birds by then. And, that is the reason why we have been working with the community so that they understand what it means to bring introduced species into the islands. Our scout program works with these kids. We take them on board often so they see what the hospitality side of service is all about. They're sons and daughters of fishermen. So in hope that they will be attracted by what they see on board and they will get involved into the tourism industry, instead of staying in the fishing industry. So this program is actually quite successful. We donate to them all of the kayaks and snorkeling equipment that we don't use so that they can actually rent them out during weekends to the visitors of Puerto Vaquerizo and get some funds out of that. Because of our relationship with Galapagos, our new project, and unfortunately, a project that was due to be launched in 2021 now has been delayed for 2022, which is a new boat that is being worked on in Guayaquil. She's going to be for 18 guests, a lovely vessel that is going to have one cabin allocated 100% of the year at no cost to scientists of the Charles Darwin Foundation or the Galapagos National Park. The main reason, because the numbers of the mangrove finches of that little bird were only noticed by the scientists because they told me we seldom have money to visit the field. So that is why we decided that we will offer this service to them so that that doesn't happen ever again. That if there is a problem, they will start realizing it before it truly happens. Okay, so I will keep you posted on that. And whatever extras you may need, we're experts on providing surprises, little extras for anyone. So whatever you need, you just keep us posted if you have an important guest on board. Okay? Concerning our other program in charge of my second son, our Patagonia program, to go there, you will first need to visit Chile. So whatever you need in Chile, we'll be glad to offer the services, being that Atacama, Valparaiso, the wine country, or Easter Island, whatever you might need. Argentina, and why Argentina? Because most of our clients taking our Patagonia program start the program in Chile, but finish up in Calafate. They leave the cars in Calafate, which is in the Argentinian Patagonia, and then they do an extension, they take an extension to Argentina, okay? Our program operates in southern Patagonia, Torres del Paine and Glaciares National Park. The way we do it is with these jeeps. We have 10 of these jeeps, and you can actually get them either with a guide that drives for you or you drive yourself, okay? Most of our clients take the drive yourself option. It's extremely easy to drive in Patagonia. If that is the case, the jeeps come with an iPad that turns on automatically whenever you reach a point of interest. because the signal is sent by the satellite, and it will tell you where you are, the sort of surroundings that you're seeing, what is the wildlife in the area. It's a guide inside the vehicle. It also comes with a GPS that has been fitted with the, with your itinerary. So you only press one and you'll know exactly what route to follow throughout the day. It also comes with a beautiful packed a cooler in the back, that has wonderful things for you to enjoy. If you want to sit down wherever you want, enjoy a view, it's actually the description of this program, it's freedom. That is how our clients describe this program. We have several, programs in Patagonia. I will send you this so that you can actually see them, but we specialize on flexibility. So if you want to mix and match, do it for more days, for less days, whatever you want, it's for, it would be a pleasure for us to work with you on that. We put a lot of emphasis, very similar to what we do in the Galapagos, to offer you the best of the activities that the area offers. All of the programs have included the horseback riding, the fly fishing, the kayaking. If you have taken the drive yourself option, a guide will go with you at all times during the activities, okay? By the end of the activity, they will just take all of the equipment with them, and you will continue with in the privacy of your own group. Okay? Lovely wildlife in the area, and we operate throughout the year, but it's more popular during winter time, the puma tracking safari. Puma sightings guaranteed during winter. The reason is easy, because the guanacos, which is the meal for the puma, go down to the plains, and then the pumas have to go down to the plain to go behind them. So if you have photographers who are interested in getting puma photographs, this is a program to go to. We operate during winter time only with Explora, that it's the only lodge that operates during winter time down south, okay? We also visit, in all of our programs, we visit the estancias of the area so that our guests will be able to interact with the with the farmers of the area. They would show them what they do down there, and it creates a fabulous experience. Because of our puma tracking safaris, we became members of the Border Collie Foundation. And the reason for that is that we donate to the Border Collie Foundation because each trained Border Collie costs about $3,000. And the farmers of the area do not have the funds to purchase them. And the Border Collies make a lot of noise when they smell a puma close by. If they do so, the farmers scare them away before they used to kill them. We've been part of the the Border Collie Foundation already for 3 years, and it is amazing the increase in the number of pumas in the area just because of these simple reasons. So we're very, we love to be part of that foundation because it helps a lot, the numbers of puma down there. These are the properties that we normally use in the program. Our 5-star or gold, singular, Tierra Patagonia in Chile, Explora during winter time, and in Argentina, Iolo and Aguas Arriba. And these properties, each one is more beautiful than the other. They're beautiful properties. And our silver properties or 4-star, which is the Patagonia Camp, Nivepoaike, Altiplánico, and Helsingfors. Beautiful estancias that you can stay at and enjoy the area enormously. So that's more or less, in a pill, what we do. We have come up with, a very, very thorough protocol for safety and health during COVID. I will be sending you that, Jen, so that you can actually check, that your clients will be absolutely protected and safe from the minute they arrive to any of the countries that they have decided to take our services in until the minute they leave. It's, the description of how we're going to be clean, everything, day by day, you will be seeing in these protocols. And we have also come up with a new booking and cancellation policy that will allow your guests to cancel up to 14 days prior departure. we understand and know, the worry of, of travelers nowadays. They're very worried of sending money and then afterwards not being able to travel, and then they lost whatever funds they sent. So we will refund in cash, if they cannot travel. Okay. So this is how we like working, with you, Jen. You trust us, sending us your client. You have the commitment from our side that, they will get what they bought and even more. We will communicate with you, being these for positive things or negative things. If something wrong happened, believe me, you'll be the first one to know. We will resolve that issue wherever it happened. So on the return, your clients will keep the trust in you, and you will continue to keep the trust in us. So thank you so much, for your attention. I hope that, in a very short time, I have been able to give you some information of the product we have, and what we operate. We enjoy Latin America. We look forward to continuing to be a family organization and offer in many other countries of Latin America fabulous programs in the future. Thank you so, so much.
Thank you so much. What a fantastic presentation. I'm going to open it up for questions, and you can either unmute yourself for a question, or we can go ahead and put any in the chat box that you like. But I wanted to start with asking, what would you say is the soonest, for clients who are wanting to travel as soon as possible, what would be your recommendation for the soonest to travel to both Patagonia or the Galapagos?
Thank you, Jen. I am very sorry if you think I am the pessimist, type, which I'm truly not. But I have to admit that both countries, Ecuador and Chile, are not yet ready. Even though the Galapagos Islands is opening up by July the 1st, I truly think it was a premature decision. I don't think we are ready as a country, Jen. The number of COVID cases are increasing, and it will be extremely irresponsible from our side to just say, send your passengers and we'll take the best care. On occasion, it would not be our, we are doing everything we can on our side, but I have to admit that Chile, it's in the same position. Chile and Ecuador are not yet ready to receive tourists. I would say, Jen, that, starting as of from October, it might be, the time when people can start to travel again.
Okay. We're hearing that a little bit across the board, so I think that's about right, October, November. And then 2021, you were saying that that's filling up pretty quickly this year?
Yes, I think people are, willing to travel. They want to come out of their homes. And 2021, it's looking quite good. We are receiving inquiries, and hopefully, things will start to quiet down concerning COVID so that people feel comfortable starting to book. It is true. Probably our new policies are very attractive, for clients to just book, but it's not people who do not want to go. Actually, what they don't want is to lose their deposits, but they want to travel. So, we'll love to just see the Galapagos, Ecuador, Chile, and Patagonia to start moving again as for from December onwards.
What would you say is the best time to go to Patagonia?
Depending. My son is a photographer, and that is why he opened up the winter program for Patagonia, which is your summer, Jen. Okay, if you're a photographer, it's a fabulous time of the year to go because it does not have any wind. If you go to Patagonia during summertime, winds are very strong. Okay, so when people think about down south, they could think, my God, it's gonna be freezing, but it's not the case. Actually, yes, it's cold. You're talking about probably, -4, something like that. A good jacket, and you'll be able to stay out because there is zero wind. Whereas in summer, you have strong winds, temperatures go higher. But even in summertime, I've had to wear a jacket. So it will depend on what your passengers prefer. If they prefer the sort of snow and the big cats, that's wintertime. If they prefer, summer, beautiful views, that you also have them during wintertime. But yes, it's more difficult to go about during wintertime. In summertime, you have a lot of small little lakes in Patagonia, wonderful views. You feel more comfortable. Yes, let's put it that way.
Yeah. Well, that's good to hear, because I know in Naples in June, July, August, even September is very hot and humid, and I know we look forward to finding a cool respite for that time of year, so that would work out perfectly.
Yeah, it's just perfect, and it's lovely during winter time.
Yeah. What about ages for children? So we talked a little bit about families, especially for the Galapagos. What would you say is a good minimum age?
Actually, Jen, we've had, charters of the Grace, especially with families bringing, little kids as young as 6 months old. But then that's a different story. That's a charter. It's a family coming and taking the yacht on their own, okay? But I would say if it's a normal FIT, I would say from the minute they swim well, because one of the highlights of the Galapagos is the snorkeling. And if kids can have that opportunity, it will be fabulous. But if you want to bring a younger kid, we've had the cruises where you get 4 years old, 5 years old. So it's just fine as long as parents feel comfortable going with a little kid to the islands. It's actually, not only underwater, you get wonderful life, but also on land. So it's a perfect destination for kids.
Great. Does anyone else have any questions? I'll open it up. If you have any questions, you can unmute yourself, or you can type something in the box below. Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to join us and tell us all about Patagonia and Galapagos and everything that you do. I found it definitely inspiring, and I'm ready to get out of here and travel soon. So hopefully many of our clients are too.
Thanks to you, Jen, for inviting me, and thank you, everyone. Just looking forward for things to return to normal. For now, keep safe, follow the rules, because, in Latin America, we've seen what can happen when you don't follow the rules. So, have a lovely day, and many, many, many thanks.
Thank you. Bye, everyone.
Thank you, Dolores. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye, everyone. Bye, Irene.